Alrighty, I just put the battery in, and I really should be getting ready for bed because it's late and I need, well, not really that late, but I'm exhausted, but I'm curious. Whatever, that'll just be noise in the background. Fuel's on. I think it will start. Oil is low, but it's in there, so it shouldn't be an issue. Let's give it some choke. Ignition on. And all I did was put a battery in it. I don't even know how the fuel is. I don't know how the carburetor is. The carburetor's gonna have to get gone through, but boo-hoo, that's something easy. I did that on my previous Honda 4Tracks video, which I think I'll link in the description below, or I'll have a little tag up in the top corner of the screen. So yeah, we are basically to the point where I can get a jack out here, take the rims off, and have them ready for the tires whenever the tires show up, which they're supposed to show up tomorrow. So that's kind of why I wanted to check and see, because I'm really excited about having this thing run. I need to make sure I add more water to it, or not water, but oil to it, because it is low, like I said, but there is oil in there. So I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, I'm pretty sure the shifter works, or the gears work perfect, because I tried to push it off without the shifter, or when it is in gear. That thing is sturdy, and it does sound like it's got decent compression. It looks like it's blowing by oil a little bit. Oh well, it's a Honda. It's from '96. It's gonna do something like that. And for less than $500 total investment, I can't really go wrong. I mean, I paid $200 for this thing as it sits. I put a battery in for $50 off Amazon. I bought 4 brand new tires, which you guys will see hopefully tomorrow. That should make this thing look really good, and I think I'm going to rattle can those wheels black to match the rear, just so that way it looks better, because right now it's like mixed match. Those are black, those are silver, rusty. So, well, with that being said, I'm going to call it for the night. My wife is wanting to spend some time together, and you know, it means I got to spend some time with the wife. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you on another day whenever we get the tires in. Because once we get the tires, we're going to power wash it, we're going to get it all cleaned up, and we're going to go for a little run. So, toodaloo. So, the Honda ATV starts, runs, and it actually spins the wheels, I think. I tested that kind of, it wanted to move yesterday when I was just out here tinkering with it, so I'm pretty sure it moves, and shifter works and all 4 wheels spin. The only thing we're missing on right now is the wheels and tires, which those are supposed to be here today. They were supposed to be here by 3, and it's currently 4 o'clock and they're not here. So I hope I get them this weekend, because I'd love to have this thing running. It'd be fun to run it around up and down my neighborhood. I got it up on jack stands to take off the wheels and kind of get going through it. It looks pretty clean, actually. Like, you can tell there's a little bit of a valve cover gasket leak on that. But that's not too bad. The carburetor is a factory OEM Keyhine carb. It's missing this panel right here, and this shifter, kickstarter. Oh, maybe it's in gear now. Yeah, it's not. It needs to be adjusted or something, because it's not working right. It's like halfway engaging. So we'll have to figure that out, but we've got a nice little project coming along. This mower also is gonna just get junked. I've talked to my buddies, and I'm not really wanting to spend any time with it. Plus, I'm worried about the hantavirus on it. So I'm gonna take some parts off of it after a power wash and get it cleaned up, and then this is going to scrapyard because it's not worth a penny other than the scrap metal value. But this is the real treasure right here. 96 4Tracks that actually starts and runs, and is a 4x4 with brand new tires for less than $500 investment. I'd say that's pretty good for this thing. Even the lights are working and everything on it. So I'm stoked. Can't wait to get this thing going all the way and go running it around. I love having my mule, so what's better than having a secondary ATV around that farm, so that way we can go do things if the ATV is too big. Plus, I mean, I can transport this thing in the back of my truck now, so that's gonna be perfect. Let me show you the wheels that I took off. These are the old tires, which are dry rotted as all get out. He plasti dipped them. I took some rust stop paint to paint them to hopefully stop some of the rusting on it, and they turned out okay. Not great, but keep in mind this is a cheap ATV, so we're gonna have to, though, I don't know if you can see the rust on that rim, we're gonna have to put some bead seal on that for sure to get it to not leak air, because that's gonna suck if it has to leak. If it leaks, I constantly have to add air to it. So, oh, perfect timing. FedEx showed up. Let me show you the tires in 1 second. Well, these are the tires mounted. I went with these like old, I think they're a D-Stone 903 or something like that brand or style tire. Big center knobs, small side knobs. Really nice for these ATVs. For some reason, I have those in my head. That's what goes on these. Stated to beat on both of these because I have the valve stems in them. These two are missing valve stems. Boo-hoo. I'll fix that here in a bit. I also have these upside down. That's the side that faces out. So, yeah, this should be a nice little ATV now that with these tires on them. I had to put a copious amount of bead sealer on these two rims because I know that they're going to leak with that rust on the rim. But what can I expect? It's $200 for a tire. So, well, I'll bring you guys back once we get this thing squared away with the new valve stems on this and these tires mounted on the ATV, and then we'll probably drive it around front and park it and get the carb cleaned, get the gas drained, and then go on with the actual mechanical diagnosis of this machine. We know it starts, we know it drives, pretty sure it drives because it works in gear. We don't know if the brakes work, we don't know if there's an overheating issue, if it blows a crap load of smoke, we don't know nothing about it other than just it starts and it runs, and it really doesn't run that well. So we gotta fix that. So we'll be back probably tomorrow because we're about to go to eat dinner somewhere good tonight. But for right now, we're gonna just pause on this and come back later tonight or tomorrow. All right, well, I got it in the garage by running it. Got my new tires on it. It looks sweet and runs pretty decent. But I have to take the carb off because I know it's bad. I know it's not happy. It just will not idle. So, what does that mean? We gotta take the carb off. In order to take the carb off, I've gotta take the intake off. Gotta take the intake boot. Tank most likely has to come off just due to the, like, this hose on it is not gonna fit right, and we're gonna have to get it from the other side actually, but we'll get some parts taken apart here and continue on our way. Because it's a Honda, it's either a 10, a 12, or a Phillips head. So that makes life so easy. Pretty sure this gas is horrible. Just from the age. Yep. Alright. Let me go to the other side. Let me get this fuel line. Yeah, that fuel line's shot. This thing's heavier than I thought. It's got a decent amount of gas in it. Ah, look at that. We have access to everything now. Raise you up so you can kind of do a better picture. There we go. So we're gonna get to this, and I really just want to do a good little clean to it because it needs it. But I don't know how to get this thing out, other than right here, which that exhaust is already warm. So let's start with first let's get this boot off of it, and then once we get this boot off of it, don't worry, we're gonna get up close and personal, guys. It smells like mouse piss. So it looks like it's got the throttle cable tucked up under here. It should be held on by a screw right there. Okay, I need you to move just a little bit. How's that? Get you guys angled better. Yeah, how's that? We'll work in tandem together. So let me get this thing. Tighten the bolt. I'm taking off the air filter so that way I can push this rubber connector backwards more, like that, so that way the carb can come off and I can get access to a screw right here. Having good quality screwdrivers is a must, because you do not want to strip these things out. It just becomes a nightmare after that if you do that. And definitely keep track of your screws, because you will lose them. And once you lose them, you will likely not have replacements, unless you buy a whole nother card, in which I'm not willing to do that. So what I tend to do is I'll hold the throttle and then somehow get my finger in here and kind of, yep, just like that. Then I need to get a 10 mil wrench for that one. So that way I can get this throttle cable removed. Once I get the throttle cable removed, I can remove the choke cable, and the vent can come off later, as well as other things. Alright, so 10 mil. Make sure you get a good grip on it. You don't want to round this off. Sorry, bopped ya. I tend to leave the stopper set in that position. I just move it a little bit, and then the rest of that can come off. And then this choke is a 14 actually, not a 12. I'll come from the other side and break that thing loose. And then, so that is a plastic connection. So just be cautious you're not stripping it. So make sure you have a good firm grip with your wrench
before you go do anything crazy. Because you don't want to damage it. And I'm just trying to get this carb up a little bit so I have a better access to the choke cable. These are always the hardest things to get off because you don't want to strip them. You don't want to damage your choke cable. Boom. See? There's your choke, there's your rubber O-ring there, and that's what makes the choke. So from here, I should be able to kind of wiggle and squeeze this carburetor out the top. Pretty sure you can do that. Yep. There it is. Just like that. And there is a rubber or a vent tube up here that goes up top. And then this is what I was talking about by this. You can see here, all blurry. This hose is just not the right stuff for a carburetor. So we're gonna replace that. So let me get you up on the bench and we're gonna tear into this and really give it a good clean because it smells bad, it smells dirty. I bet you the jets are clogged. So let's get this on the workbench. All right. So now that you can see, let's get this torn apart. Where's my Phillips head? There we go. I want to make sure you don't strip these screws. There's 4 that hold the base of the carb together. And they can get really stuck there. There goes all the fuel. Probably should have done a fuel sample to see if it had water in it. Just because that is something that could happen. I know I'm going to be draining it, hopefully. Drain the whole fuel tank to allow for cleanliness. Because I know that this thing will need it. Four screws on the bottom. And if the bowl should come off easily. Oof. Not horrible, but not great. So remember, the 2 slits go to the fuel inlet side on the plastic. And then this should come out. It felt like it was moving. Yeah. There's the fuel float level. The needle and seat. I hear no gas in the float, and I let it sit overnight. It really doesn't look horrible in here. Like, I mean, I see that looks like a mouse turd is in here somehow. But I really don't see anything. Ooh. Yeah, that's gummed up a little bit. The jet's clean, but the emulsion tube has a little bit of gum to it. And this thing's a little gummy in the system. Yeah, you can just see the gook on this jet. So, good thing we're cleaning this. Oop, I dropped that jet. That one's clear. Trying to get Oh, that's just not going to come out. Lovely. Let's see, we have the top of this carb cover that needs to come out. Oh! That one's not wanting to move. Thankfully that one did. That one was loose. That one wanted to move. Back to this one. Couple little impacts. Before it strips. I've had good luck in the past of like using vice grips to just grip it and get it to spin. And this is only to get this thing loose, because I don't want to strip the okay, let's try a different pair. Some of my vice grips are pretty old, so they're kind of worn out a little bit. A lot of side-to-side movement. Okay, that one had good grip. Sometimes you get one attempt. Okay, we're just gonna have to really put some, maybe if I tighten it, and now try to loosen. That thing's on there tight. My JIS screwdriver isn't going to work. Yeah, that's just going to strip. The frustrations. Alright, well, can't get that off. Because no tool I have is working. Just can't get a grip. Alright, let's use a punch. I got a really tiny hammer. Okay. I'm not happy with that. But we're gonna take a pause before I break something. Mess with this idle jet circuit. He counts it in how many turns it takes till it bottoms out. 3 1/4, or 3 1/16, essentially. And then you take it out and we'll just clean it good. There is a spring and a little washer that goes in there as well, so just don't lose those. Alright, and now I guess we get back to that fudge nuggets. I do not like it. Let me dig around for a minute and see what I can come up with. I have to get that off because I have to have it off of the thing to clean the jet, or the clean inside there, because I think there's an orifice in there. So I need it taken care of. And I don't have any tools that really work to loosen it, because it's not wanting to loosen. And I'm rounding it out more I try it. So I need to take a second, dive into this, get this repaired. I can't use heat because there's a rubber diaphragm in there. I don't want to damage it. Yeah, that slide should slide freely, and it's not, so. We got to use a little bit of method of removal. So let me put you on pause and then bring you back in a minute. Alrighty, I gave up. I was not about to risk breaking the carburetor over getting that out. I cleaned it the best I could. Diaphragm is functioning pretty good now, pretty smoothly. So now I just got to get this thing matched up. So you go down there, you go here, you go in there, and then you go on the side right here. Then we have spring, or washer spring, seat, bottomed, and then 3.5 turns back out, or 3 1/16 I should say, not half. So there's bottomed, half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and a little sliver. This little rubber piece goes in there. The side jet's tight. The idle jet needs to get tightened, which I'm doing right now. Nice and tight. And then the main jet. Nice and tight. The needle and seat. There we go, much better. There's a little stopper thingy on here. It should be moving, not stuck in position. So it's moving now. A little bit of mechanical agitation, the pressure put on it, gets it to move pretty easily. And last but not least, we said these 2 notches go towards this, and then now we get to put the bowl back on, and we get to tighten these screws up. And we can put this back on the bike and test it and make sure it's working. I think it will. I mean, if it doesn't, I'll just have to order me an actual rebuild kit or a new carb, transfer some of the jets to the new carb, because it's likely that the diaphragm is damaged. Especially since I can't get it off. I bet you someone's been in there. Don't over tighten these because I don't want to strip them. Gosh dang it. Alrighty, let's go over to the workbench, or go over to the bike and get this reassembled. Alrighty, so what do you want to do first? I think we go in the reverse orientation of how we took it off. So we took off the choke first, or last, I should say. So let's get that reassembled on there. And I'm actually gonna stand up, put the vent tube back on. and get this guy back in its little home down here. Before we do the vent, or the choke. Just so that way it can get back in its home. Alright, so now we're back down there. Now the choke can go in. You gotta kind of, it's just a weird position and you don't want to cross thread this. So, trust me, I wish I had more space. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos I'm putting out. If you have comments or suggestions on what I should keep going on, I'd love to hear it because these are fun. I love just finding projects. Right now I've been basically going off of, well, what can I get for cheap? So I bought this for 200 bucks. I got a mower for free. I got tiller for free a little bit ago. Like, what can I get for cheap? So that way I don't have to invest any money because YouTube doesn't pay me for this stuff. It's all off my own dime, which isn't horrible. I enjoy it because some of these things I do end up going and selling. Sometimes I'm able to give them away to people who might need them. I think my neighbor might actually end up with this ATV if he likes it. I'm going to give it to him for what I have in it, just because I'd love to see it around, and if he doesn't end up using it, I'll get it back from him. So I think it's a good, overall it's a pretty good little side. Come on, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Okay. Okay. So now we get to put this back in. Back in. And I'll adjust it because I know it got messed up a little bit. Just adjusting the shift lever to where it's got very little play before it tightens up on the shifter or throttle. So there's the throttle back in. Let's put the cover back on, because I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna actually have to pull this out of the little tube. So there's a little like notch for it underneath. Okay, this is my filter. Alright, I was missing my Phillips, so I had to go get it. Oh. I got it though. It only fell through the bike. So the notch, like I was saying, there's a notch on the bottom of this cover that has to get slotted in. You tightening up? Yeah, you're actually tightening up there. Good. So then, yeah, we got that taken care of. And now I can put the carb back into its intake boot. And now I can reroute the airbox intake boot back on to the carburetor. And then we can tighten that guy up. this carburetor seated better on the engine side. And I can tighten this one down. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to put the air filter back in position, just because it needs to go back. I don't like running this guy without it. Something tells me I'm gonna have to be back in here to fix the engine up, because when I putted it around the front, I noticed behind me there's a trail of white smoke, or blue smoke kind of looking thing. So I'm pretty sure the engine has bad rings, which, I mean, granted, after a little bit of runtime, it probably could come back to life. Because it could be just a simple piston ring is seized or stuck inside there and needs to be worked free with some driving, some actual heat to it. So, yeah, I think right now we need to get the gas tank on. But before we get the gas tank on, I need to go get a fuel hose to drain the tank. Hold on. We're gonna actually leave the gas in the tank because it's really not pourable. I've got a brand spanking new hose for this. I want this to stay upright. See this, my little yellow tubing should go on the carburetor nice and easily. And then we'll run it to the new one, but I've got to first, before I do anything else, I've got to first cut off the old tube that's stuck on the gas tank. Once it's off, then I can actually put the new one on. Then after that, I think we can start it and run it and power wash it, get it all nice and clean. So you can see right here, that fuel line, it's sheared off when I tried to pull it. And now it came right off. So now I want to take this . So that's a sediment bowl on the fuel tank. Are we gonna leak any fuel out? Are we gonna leak any fuel out? Let's get the fuel drain thing back on it. I do not see any fuel coming out of the engine, or the carburetor. So let me get you set back and we'll let you get a wide angle shot of this. I am gonna put the seat back on, just because I like having a seat. Take that off. Alright. Did this right. I shouldn't really need choke. I'd say that's pretty good. Ha! That's amazing. Gotta up the idle just a tiny bit.
V8. It's a lot better than it was. So, let me get some things squared away. I want to tighten these bolts up, just because this is kind of loose. And then I want to go power wash this thing. So, we're going to get the power washer out, going to back this thing on the driveway, and then from there, it's just ripping and riding. So, I'll set you up when we go and power wash this thing to get you a good view of it. Alright, I know it's really bright outside in the sun, but this is before we power wash it. Not too shabby, not too dirty. Looks pretty decent. But there are some little things like the engine needs a little cleaning, the back seats, this area. It's just dirty. It's not bad, it just needs a little bit of cleaning. So, let's get you set up on the stand for the power washer. Ouch. And then let's get you watching this go down nice and clean from now.
Ready. She cleaned up pretty good. I need to do another round of degreaser. This was just a power wash, so turned out pretty good though. Like, really surprised me. The wheels look good with the tires on it. Really helps the quad make it out. So I'm happy with it. Almost lost a couple stickers, but I've tried to keep them. So we're gonna get some degreaser, spray this thing down, and then go back at it. But I don't think you need to watch me do that. I'll come back with the final video or final version of it, and we might go for a little test ride, just to make it enjoy, essentially. Go have some fun with it. So we'll be back in a bit. Guys, we're gonna call it for right now. I'm gonna just show you what is happening with this quad, why I think it's been parked for so long, but I think we're gonna call it after this. So it runs really good, except for the fact that it smokes like a banshee. Literally. Smokes like a banshee. Which, it could very well be the piston rings are seized and they just need some kind of work loose. Or it could be the fact that this thing's got a bunch of miles and needs an overhaul. Overhaul kits are $100. I might just splurge and get that, but that's the only way for the next video. And it's really purely going to depend on what happens with this quad. As like I said at the beginning of the video, hold on. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I have no need for this this ATV. I really bought it because I was hoping for a fun little project. And I mean, I'm not wrong, it was a fun project. It really was a fun project, but I don't need it. So I'm either gonna fix it and then sell it, or I'm gonna fix it and give it to a friend of mine who's been asking me for a ATV. So we'll see what happens going forward, but for right now, I'm gonna call it quits on the video. We did everything that I wanted to tackle. We got the tires on it, we got it running well, we got it driving nicely so I can move it around the yard and it's not just gonna be parked dead on jack stands. So with that being said, next step is gonna be questionable what I do. I don't know yet. I'm really thinking about spending the $100 just to go buy the rebuild kit for it, because it's just a piston rings, jug, chain, those kind of things, and call it good. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining my channel today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't mind, give a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you really enjoyed it. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. I know it costs you nothing, but it really does help me out in the long run. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Later.